Yeah, it's okay. Okay, let's go. So I'm gonna talk about tenants union in Charleroi, in Belgium, in Wallonia, more specifically. And I will, yeah, tell you a little bit of what we did right now because it's quite new. What are the problem we're facing, and also what some victories at least after 1 year. So it's a very new tenants union, and yeah, I'm basically gonna go through that. Um, so just a first presentation of who we are. So I'm working for the Rassemblement Wallon pour le droit à l'habitat. It's a platform in Wallonia that's assemble, yeah, that's with a 28 organization in Wallonia that defends the housing right. It's quite new also. It's about 10 years now we exist. And it's mostly organizations that are supporting tenants to defend their rights in some specific cities. For 10 years, we were only one member staff paid, and right now we are 4 member staff. So, but it's still very few people to work on housing rights issues in Wallonia. And basically what we're doing is we are working on eviction, empty houses, and also retrofits. We support also demonstration like every year we're doing housing action days. We're trying also to mobilize people on housing issue, but it's not so easy, as you probably know. And we start to build a tenants union in Charleroi in 2024. Okay, what we are really working on housing issue, but we also connected with some climate organization that are it's called Belgium Climate Coalition, and we try to join to the two issue, but it's not so easy. It's very new that we have connection, and we try to work on energy housing pact, something like some recommendation that we did 1 year ago, but in fact, on the field we are not so well connected, and that's one issue that I would like also to discuss a little bit. Some words about the context in Belgium, and last webinar you present the Czech Republic situation, and I think it's quite very similar. Wallonia is really based on owner-occupier, and it's really the politics is to get the people owner. So the politics are not very focused on tenants issue, but it's changing because the situation is really becoming worse. And all the retrofit policies is also very owner-occupied people, landlords. And there is very few tenants representation. It's very there's a big landlords union, but for tenants it's very low representation. Not so much organization are existing, and they're more doing individual supports. On the leaky housing side, very like the markets and the houses are very in a bad condition, and a lot of them are what we call leaky houses. And also for the social housing that is very energy intensive leaky house. So we can say that nearly 1 on 3 tenants are victims of energy poverty. That means that they have problem to pay their energy bills, have to make auto restriction and all that. We have 27 tenants, percent of tenants in Wallonia. But if you look in the main cities, it's more like 50 tenants. So half people are tenants. Very few social housing, but I think it's better than other countries, but it's still very few. And also the risk of for the tenants to become poor is really much more higher than for the owners. A lot of people in Wallonia are also landlords. Almost 15% are renting a house, and we have like amongst 40% that of the rented houses that are owned by multi-landlords. So it's also mainly landlords that own one or two houses. On the political context, we had during the energy crisis a rent freeze and a moratorium on eviction. There is no moratorium for the winter in Wallonia compared to France. There is a moratorium in Wallonia. There is no. So there were one for 1 year, but then after they stopped after the 31st of October in 2003. And then we had also election in Wallonia, and it's the Liberal Party who won the election. So it's also, voilà, there's no so much hope that there will be some new politics that defends tenants. So the context is quite hard, but we're still fighting. What we doing now, it's like, so we are basically busy on Wallonia, and we start a tenants union in Charleroi that I'm gonna talk about it. But there's also one that is starting in Namur, and also in Brussels. We are very well connected with other tenants union that's called UN in Brussels, and there's others also in Brussels. The tenants movement is much more stronger than in Wallonia. So I'm gonna talk about the tenants union in Charleroi. It's called Carolocataires Ensemble. It means basically tenants from Charleroi together. And we are focused on leaky houses, but more generally in bad condition houses. Charleroi is old city coal mine, so it was really rich during the beginning of the century, but then it really collapsed after the 50, like after 50 or 60, and then now it's really poor. A lot of people that are unemployed, and it's one of the poorest area in Belgium and Europe also. And so you can see the city with also this typical gold mine landfill. We start the tenants union in 2004, but we were from long time connected with also friends and the Alliance Citoyenne that made the first webinar, and we were discussing about how we can be part of their organization, and mostly take also all the experience they got. So we try to get the methodology from the friends to Wallonia, but you're gonna see there's quite some differences, and we had to face some other issue. We respond to a call for projects, and we have a budget for until 2026 to experiment basically an ecological city planning approach with community organizing approach. So we engage one organizer that is full-time on the field, and we are also some people from our organization that go on the field also, but we have mainly one person, David, that you saw last webinar, but that is now he's got a little problem, so he cannot be there. So he's doing the job on the field, and there's another guy, Kilian, who's doing more the job of coordination, the whole projects, and also all the contact with the city. So we took the same methodology than Alliance Citoyenne and Locataires Ensemble in France, basically with the same steps: mapping, door knocking, and house meeting, assembly, direct action, and negotiation. That's basically the community organizing frame. But we had to adapt that on the Charleroi context. First, in France, they have a lot of data to map the leaky homes. In Belgium and in Wallonia, there is no data. So that was the first problem we have to face. There is no data on, that we can use. So we had to really go without any map. And also we have to face really the houses are really in a bad situation. Many tenants are facing problem of major unsanitary condition, and basically landlords are used of that, and they know that there's so many people are looking for houses, so that they don't care about that. Many sleep merchants, so no contract, mafias, and also violence against tenants. There are also a lot of people that don't have papers or migrants, and it's really conditions are really difficult. And also there's like a really high risk of eviction, because when people complain about the situation and ask the municipality or the city to come and visit the houses, the problem is that the city give a report, and then from the report, if there's no action on the landlord side and if it doesn't make any reparation, that's arriving very often, then the tenants get an eviction notice. So people are really fear about asking the city to come and to see the situation. And so basically the city and the municipality are really also linked with landlords. They know the situation, but they don't do nothing. Because they are really scared of, if they're taking a lot of reports, then they will have a lot of people evicted, and there is no any houses to host them. So it's like it's better to keep them in bad situation, so that we say like we don't see the problem and there is no problem. But in fact, people are really living in really bad condition, with a lot of problem on the hills, because there is a lot of mood problem. So what we did from now, we did a recruitment and exploration on the field from July to September in 2004. We experiment door-to-door approach, but also we went to the public spaces and basically look for tenants and ask him what are they facing for problems. And then we recruit 40 people, members. Until now, we make some training on negotiation, and we build a 5 or 6 member core group. But one problem we're facing, and that I want also to discuss with you, is like the person that get involved, they also get a lot of problems on the personal side, sickness, addictions, personal difficulties, that making them in difficulty to participate on the tenants union. So we have also people that get involved sometimes, and then they have to not quit, but to be just less involved. And so we are faced the difficulties to have a really board that with people that gets really engaged. What we did, so from then after this period of recruitment, we did the first action at the end of the year, also to try to have two approach on individual scale, and like we can call defense member, and collective actions that is directed to the city. So we made a first action that you can see on the left during the New Year's event for the city, and we were signing a petition. And the first result is that we had an appointment and a meeting with the housing alderman of Charleroi to expose the problem and to ask for some first demands. We also did, so it's in French, but I will translate it. One of the response of the politics is to say we did a guide for the tenants with some tips and all that stuff. And so we did the same, but with all the shitty problems that tenants have to face, so all the moods. And we did, oh, do you have some problem on your wall? It's just that you don't open enough the window. All the shit that people can hear from the landlords or from the city is that they are not opening enough and ventilation, but in fact it's just that the problem is that the landlords doesn't make reparation. So we make this guide with some other situation. As I said, we doing support members. So people are coming to the tenants union is generally with a real strong problem. So they want also to have some support from the union. So we try to have some support on the personal problem. So we had to face illegal eviction, leaky homes. So they're also coming with other problems that just problem of leaky homes, but we try also to make a support. We won some, but we also have to face with some fight back from the landlords. And some of them right now we won some, for example, for Elizabeth, it was an illegal eviction. We won with just sending a letter and remember what are the rights. But then a few months later, she gets a legal eviction. So now we have to also try to support her to look for houses, but it's really difficult. And also it's take a lot of time. So one question is also what are the time we can put on personal issues, and what are the time we cannot, because we cannot doing a complete social work, and people are facing with a lot of other problems, as I said, like problems to pay their rents, so financial problem, addictions, and we have also to try to to build a network of other associations that can also help the member of the tenants union. Also, the problem is that the risk of eviction, for example, for the last case we won, Lofty, now we have to be very careful because it's a risk of subpopulation, because there are too much people in the apartment, and so we are scared that the city is coming to say, hey, there's too much people and that they have to leave. So every time we want something, then there's also some risks that are appearing. So we have to also be careful with that. And it's always like, if you move, you have also the risk of getting feedback from the landlords or for the city. So we try to work on this individual level and also on the city level. One thing that's working quite well is just to send a letter to the landlords with the logo of the tenants union and to ask for a reparation or other stuff. And so, most of the time it's working. That means that the landlord is moving and we can get to the negotiation. We also making a deep investigation on landlords. So we collect information on them, how many houses they got. We ask also other tenants, or the tenants, do you know if they got other houses? And people in Charleroi know very well each other. So it is like everybody knows everybody. So it's quite easy to have some information and to collect it. And basically what that appear in during the first month is that the landlords are really in Charleroi quite rich, and they have multi properties. Because it's a city that you can invest quite easily. The houses are not with high price compared to other cities, so they can pay very easily the houses, and then they don't have to invest so much because people are looking for houses and are ready to rent bad condition houses with quite high rent. So the rentability is really high. So now we're working with a journalist also to make more investigation on few of them. Some are, as you can see, consultants on for laws and all that stuff. Even one who's working for McKinsey and all stuff. We did also the first action on the real estate agencies that were renting. It's Lofty, so Lofty is on the side, on the left side. He was asking for repression for months and months and didn't have any response. So we did a small action. We just came in front of the agency with the flag, and we asked for to meet the director, and it works. They meet and they got decisions to have some reparation. So that was the first victory. 1 week later, there was the one guy who's coming for the small reparation, and now we are looking for also other big renovation. As I said, Lofty is also now facing another problem because there are six. I think there are. Yeah, he got 5 children and two of them with his wife, and they are living in a three apartment. Three houses. I mean, three door. I mean, like there's too much people in the apartment. So what we try to build is individual cases. Any other side, we also try to work on the city level to understand the causes and that are why there is so many houses in bad condition, and there is nothing there's nothing on the city side. It just leave like the situation for now years and years. It's been years and years that organization and association say that we need to do something, and there's nothing that's moving. So we also making investigation on that side, and we are working with a jurist to identify what are the problem and how we can also work on the city level. It's more so we are busy building a campaign on city level to push to make the pressure on them and ask for to some victories on that side. Those two sides, individual cases and city level, is also in the same times the other issue is also to build the organization. And when people might get victory, then they can get involved in the union. But it's quite hard for yeah. The issue is to really find an equilibrium between individual support, building the organization. That means also to train the people, to be also to take time to have a responsibility to to train the people, and on the side also to be able to build a campaign on the city level. So that's really difficult to face those three fronts. Last April, we did a big demonstration in Charleroi with other organizations. That was really cool. We had 200 people, and we are also trying to be connected with other organizations and to work with them. But it's not always easy because there are more use of individual support, and also it's been a lot of time that people they really get tired of the situation, and they've been 20 years that asking for changing, and there's nothing that's changing. On the other side is we are also trying to build organization in Brussels. So we help also an organization in Brussels that is built on different in different parts. There's no paid staff, so it's only volunteers, and it's also with memberships. In Charleroi, we don't have membership dues, so the people don't pay anything. On Brussels, we try another model that is really built on membership and dues to pay. Now we have around 50 members, and we also trying to work on social housing and to have rent freeze in Brussels, because the context in Brussels is much more on the left side, and we have some much more opportunity to win some rent freeze. And now we also try to build, and that's make also the link with this project with Erasmus. We're trying to build connection with France, Germany, Czech Republic, and also to build a network. So it's also something we want to go on that side. But it's also a lot of energy, so it's also a balance to find how to be on the field and how to be connected, and it's also quite difficult to see how manage everything. Yeah, that's basically the presentation.
Thank you, Arno.